All right, so I'm just hopping on here to film my pregnancy Q&A. I did a poll, I guess, a question on Instagram saying that I wanted to do a pregnancy Q&A and asking you guys for some questions so that I could actually film one. So yeah, I got a bunch of questions, which is good. I didn't think I would get any. So I got a bunch of questions, and so I'm just gonna start answering them. So, the first question is, what are some of the negatives that came during the course of your pregnancy? Okay, so my pregnancy was super, super chaotic. I feel like most people's pregnancies aren't this chaotic. But yeah, mine was crazy. I was sick the entire time, like sick as a dog the entire time. I couldn't keep any food down. I could barely keep any water down. I had to go to the hospital to be treated for dehydration on multiple occasions. Let's see. I hated all food. I didn't really have any cravings until right at the end. Meat, like any type of chicken, pork, beef, all tasted disgusting. I didn't want to eat any of it. Yeah, so there were a lot of, I don't want to say negatives, but there was a lot of chaos surrounding my pregnancy. And then what were the positives? So the positives of my pregnancy were, I got a cute little baby out of it. That is the positive. Yeah, pregnancy was not fun for me at all. And the whole time I was so upset because I had this vision of being fat and happy. I was so excited to be able to just eat whatever I want and not care about calories, not care about any of that, not having to worry about working out. And that was not my reality at all. It was miserable. And I should have kind of taken a cue from my mom, because my mom, when she was pregnant with me and then when she was pregnant with my little brother, she said that she was very sick both times. But I was just like, no, that was you, that won't be me. And I should have just listened to her, because I would have gotten the heads up. I didn't heed her warning. So I was out here looking crazy. I didn't want to do my hair. I didn't do my makeup. I barely put on clothes. It was bad. Pregnancy whooped my butt. But I would do it again. A million times over, I would do it again. So what was your mentality like during your pregnancy? So my mentality was just do what you have to do to get yourself to 40 weeks. Do what you have to do to get yourself to 40 weeks. That was my mentality the whole time. I didn't make it to 40 weeks. I only made it to 34, which is fine. But yeah, that was my mentality the whole time. Just do what you have to do to make it to the end. Do whatever you have to do. And so that's what I did. I drank a lot of Gatorade, a lot of Pedialyte. I took a lot of naps. I limited all of the activities that I could do. I slept a lot. I complained a lot. That was pretty much it. I just did whatever it took to make sure Sage got here safely. So that was my mentality. So what were some of your fears when it came to your pregnancy? So my biggest fear when it came to my pregnancy was losing Sage. That was my biggest fear out of every single thing. Oh, I need these because I can't see the questions. And the reason why that was my biggest fear was because literally almost to the day, 30 days before, I had a miscarriage. And so I didn't think that I would get pregnant that fast after a miscarriage. I thought it was going to take me a while. But literally almost to the day, 30 days later, I got pregnant. And so the entire time of being pregnant with Sage, I was horrified that I would lose him. And so because I was so afraid that I would lose him, every single thing, any tingle, any cough that I had that I didn't have before, anything that I felt was off, I was just in the doctor's office or in the OBGYN urgent care, like, what's this? Because I never wanted to experience a miscarriage, like, again. Like, that was so emotionally and physically draining and one of the most painful things I've ever experienced emotionally. And so I knew that if I could prevent it, or if there was something that I could do to kind of stay one step ahead, then I would always do that. And so that's what I did. I was just on top of every single thing, which turned out to be a good thing because I ended up having preeclampsia at the end. And there were some events that kind of happened before that kind of led to me and the doctors kind of realizing that he was going to be here early. So I'm glad that I was super, super vocal throughout my entire pregnancy, because it probably is what kind of saved both of our lives, really. So what advice could you give to new mothers about childbirth? So the advice that I would give is, number one, childbirth is different for every single person. So yes, it's nice to be able to like hear what other women went through, but just know that every childbirth experience is going to be different. So even if you have 8 kids, all 8 of your birthing experiences can be completely different. And so just go in knowing that. And also, if this is your first child and you have like a birthing plan, know that your birthing plan can completely go out the window, especially if there are any type of complications or any type of, really just complications going on with you or the baby. And just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. So like for me, I knew that I really wanted to have like skin to skin when he first came out. But because he was delivered at 34 weeks, I wasn't really able to do that. Like that wasn't something that was that I was able to do. That wasn't something that I was able to do because they had to make sure he was good, and they had to take him pretty much directly to the NICU within I don't know, like 10 minutes. I think I held him for like maybe a minute, maybe 2, and then they took him directly to the NICU. And so, just go in knowing that even though you have a plan, and it's smart to have a plan, things might change, and that's okay. The goal is to make sure you are okay and make sure your baby is okay. And so as long as you have that in mind, making sure both of you are okay, any changes that come, you just gotta have to go with the flow. Another thing that I would say is, while you're in the hospital, if you can, have someone that is there with you all day, every day. And so like I had my husband there. It's important to have someone there to advocate for you in case you can't advocate for yourself, because trust me, some of these doctors and some of these nurses aren't always going to make the decision that's best. And I hate to say that, but some of them, are trifling, I'm not gonna lie. And so it's important that you have someone that's gonna advocate for you to make sure that you're being properly taken care of. So that's another big thing. So this is a good one. So what are some of the weird things that happen to your body? So one of the weirdest things that happened to me was I was super, super musty, like super musty. Like I would get out of the shower, fresh out of the shower, and still be musty, like stank. So that was new for me because I never had problems with being musty before. And so I changed my deodorant like a million times until finally I started using like clinical strength, like Secret and clinical strength Dove, because nothing else was working. Like it would work for maybe an hour and then I'll be stank. And that's not cute for anybody. And it wouldn't even be like a hint of stank. It would be like, what is that? So yeah, I definitely experienced that. That was a weird thing. Let me see, what are some other weird things that happen? I think another weird thing that happens is that your boobs start to leak. I think my boobs started to leak like in January. I thought this didn't happen until after the baby was here, but no, your boobs do start to leak, and they were leaking like a lot. It was a mess, especially at night. And so sometimes I would wake up like in the morning with like spots on my shirt or spots on the sheets from like colostrum. So that was a weird thing. I think those are, oh, and I hated brush, like I didn't, well, yeah, the taste of toothpaste would like make me vomit. So like I would have to brush my teeth in like sections, because as soon as the taste of the toothpaste would touch my tongue, I would throw up. Like it was bad. So yeah, those were some weird things that happened. What about postpartum depression, and have you encountered it? So I am 11 weeks postpartum, and so far I have not experienced any postpartum depression. I did have like the baby blues when he first got home. I would like cry, and I would just kind of feel like a little down, but from what my doctors like told me, like that's normal, like to have like the baby blues. The like issue comes into play when it's like happening for a longer period of time. So yeah, but I'm still kind of keeping an eye on that whole thing, because I do have anxiety, and so like having postpartum depression is like one of like my biggest, I don't want to say like fears, but one of my biggest concerns. And so I am like trying to make sure like I monitor myself, and my husband, you know, always asks me if like I'm okay, like if I need anything, and I have family members that do the same, just trying to make sure they check in on me. Next question. Next question. What did you pack for your hospital bag? How soon should you have it ready? So everything that I have in my hospital bag, or had in my hospital bag, I actually made a post for on my blog. So if you guys don't read my blog, it's elryans.com, ELLERYANS.com. So I have everything that I packed in my hospital bag there. But the main things though that I packed in my hospital bag were like deodorant, toothpaste. I packed chapstick, which was like, chapstick was one of the biggest things on like all of the videos that I said like you should pack in your hospital bag, and I can attest to this one. There were a few times where I was like, babe, can you please put some chapstick on me, my lips? And even in like the picture right after I delivered stage, my lips were crusty. I don't know what is in the air in that maternity ward, but your lips do get crusty. I also packed Always underwear. I'm like looking at my blog post. I packed like the Always like Depends underwear, because the hospital underwear that they give you are like mesh underwear. Like they're not uncomfortable, but they're not the most comfortable thing. It just, me and my husband called them crab boils, because they literally look like the netting that is around like that you use for a crab boil, or like the netting that's around like the lemons or the oranges in the grocery store. Like that's what those underwear are like, but like softer, obviously. So because of that, I just packed my own like Depends underwear, which was far more comfortable than the underwear in the hospital. But I did take the underwear in the hospital home with me just in case. So yeah, the Always underwear were really comfortable. I did have to stop using them though, because they were scented, and so they did cause a little bit of irritation. But if they hadn't been scented, I would have continued to use them for a little bit longer. So I think I used them for maybe like 3 days, and then I realized like, wait a minute, something's not right. And then I read the package and realized they were scented, so I stopped using them. I also brought like some giant cloth underwear, like some granny panties, and would stick like a huge pad in there. The hospital gives you like giant pads, So I would use those cloth underwear and a giant pad if I didn't necessarily want to use the Always, or and then definitely after, when I couldn't use the Always underwear anymore, I would just use like a giant pad and the cloth underwear, and those are really comfortable and they made me feel more human. So yeah, that I would definitely bring a pillow for your support person. I'm not really big on pillows. I don't really sleep with pillows. They hurt my neck. I don't know why. They always hurt my neck, so I don't sleep with them. But my husband did bring a pillow, a blanket. I didn't bring my own blanket. My husband brought a blanket. I was fine with the hospital blankets. I honestly didn't care. I just wanted the baby out of me. But my husband brought his blankets, slippers, so like bedroom slippers. I brought my own pajamas and like my own gowns and things to make me feel more comfortable, make me feel more at home. I brought shower shoes, so I didn't have to step in the nasty hospital shower. And then soap and lotion. So the hospital lotion is like water. So if you have dry skin, or if you are into super moisturizing, I would definitely bring your own lotion, because you're gonna be real disappointed when they give you that watery hospital lotion. It's honestly like so liquidy, it doesn't even do anything for you. So bring your own lotion. I brought my own lotion. I just bought like the little, I think they're like 99-cent cocoa butters that you can get from like Target. And then I bought soap. So the soap was the key. So I bought this Dove like mousse soap. And so I could just like squirt some on a washcloth and like take a shower. And before I could actually get in the shower, because there's like a time period where you can't really get in the shower, my husband like gave me like a sponge bath, and so he just squirted some of that soap into like a basin and mixed it with some water and kind of gave me like a little sponge bath so I could feel like a person, because I like being clean. So that really helps, versus like having like a bar or like a giant bottle that sometimes leaks. The mousse didn't leak at all. And then yeah, I liked it. Let's see, what is a must-have baby product you swear by? So when Sage was first brought home, I would have said the Lulu Lollipop Swaddles, because he really loved being swaddled, and I think he loved being swaddled because he was still like little. When he was born, he was like 4 pounds and 3 ounces. He's big now, but he was really little, and so he liked that feeling of being like snuggled. So I would definitely have said that when he was first brought home, the Lulu Lollipop Swaddles. But now I don't know. Oh, I would say the baby Brezza. So it's like a baby Keurig, okay? It makes the bottles in like 10 seconds. So for the first like 9.5 weeks, I was pumping. So I would pump and he would drink that, and he would also drink formula because he was a preemie. He has to drink special formula. So he would drink 1 bottle formula, 1 bottle breast milk. And that just makes sure he gets all of his calories. So I was pumping, and then all of a sudden my milk supply just dried up out of nowhere. Like, sis, I'm not doing this anymore. So my boobs just stopped producing milk. And so he just started drinking exclusively formula, which is fine. So my mom bought us the baby Brezza just to kind of like expedite the process of him getting his bottle. And that thing is a game changer. It is a little pricey, I'm not gonna lie. It is pricey, but it is worth every single penny, literally every single penny. So you just set it to how many ounces you want it to make. It warms the bottle for you. You don't have to heat it up after that. It's like, it's perfect. I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. The only downside about that thing is you have to clean the funnel every 4 bottles. So after you make 4 bottles, it won't let you make any more until you clean the funnel again. But I will clean a funnel. Well, I don't clean it, but I would clean a funnel like a million times over than hearing him scream for the time it takes me to measure out the formula, measure out the water, shake up the bottle. Like I'll clean the funnel, or my husband will clean. Well, I don't clean the funnel. I said that. My husband will clean the funnel every 4 bottles, and that just makes life so much easier. The baby Brezza. All right, so how soon should you have your hospital bag ready? So I would say have your hospital bag ready like the end of your 2nd trimester. I would definitely have your hospital bag packed at the end of the 2nd trimester. Don't do like me. My husband kept asking me to pack my hospital bag, and I was like, no. I ordered everything that needed to be in it, but I just absolutely refused to pack it for several reasons. I just was too afraid to pack it. Really, truthfully, I was too afraid. I was too chicken. So I refused to pack my hospital bag, and my husband actually ended up packing it for me because he was like, we need to go ahead and pack this. Like, I have a feeling he's going to be here early. We just need to go ahead and pack this. And I'm thankful that he did pack it because I think like a week later I was induced. So that was like good on his part, and I should have probably just packed it, but I just wasn't feeling it, so I didn't do it. I just didn't do it. But yeah, I would definitely say have it packed by the end of your 2nd trimester. That 3rd trimester is wild. Is a wild one. At least it was for me. Let's see. What other question? When did you start? Okay, so when did you start shopping for your baby nursery? So I did not start shopping for Sage until after he was here. All of his nursery stuff actually just came maybe like a week or 2 ago. But we are moving soon. So the reason why I didn't order anything for his nursery, like a legit crib and like decorations and stuff, is because we are in a 1-bedroom apartment and our lease isn't up yet, and so it's not up until like the end of August, which we knew going into trying that we wouldn't be moving until after the baby was here if we conceived within the time frame of the lease, which was fine because I wanted him to sleep in the room for a little while anyway. So yeah, we didn't order anything for his nursery because there is no nursery. He does have like a pack and play that he sleeps in beside the bed. We have the Halo Dream Nest like pack and play situation, so he is supposed to sleep in that. He's struggling with that. I'm struggling with that too. But he's supposed to sleep in the pack and play. But yeah, I just recently ordered everything and I hope it turns out really cute. I'll show you guys what it looks like once I have it all set up. So yeah. Oh, so I have a question that says, so I posted like a story, an Instagram story of like me kind of like out of it, like when I was like being induced. And so a question says, what was it that they gave you when you were asking the question about the bears? And so what they gave me was called, I think it's called Stay-Doll. Yeah, it's called Stay-Doll. And honestly, y'all, it makes you feel like you've had like 5 drinks. Like, it was great. I'm not gonna lie. It was a nice feeling. And so it just had me acting a little goofy, but it's all good. Let's see. So the next question is, how was birth? So the actual like pushing part of birth wasn't bad. So the actual pushing wasn't bad at all. Like, I didn't even feel it. I pushed for like 20-25 minutes. The pushing wasn't bad. That part is easy. Well, for me it was easy. The hard part was the actual labor. So I labored for a pretty long time. Like, I don't want to scare anybody, but I labored for a while, a long while. And so that whole time I was like getting different types of pain medication. So they started me off with Stadol, then I think I got some morphine. It was just a few different pain management things. And then once the pain got really real, that's when they gave me the epidural. Now, I went into the situation thinking that I was gonna do a natural, unmedicated birth. And that was my goal. So I tried to wait for particularly the epidural for as long as possible, but I wasn't able to do it. I wasn't able to do it. Those contractions, I've never ever in my life felt a pain so painful. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like, this is probably karma, but like maybe a few hours before I started pushing, there was this lady in the room beside me, and she was like screaming her head off, and me and my husband were like, girl, like, what is you doing? Like, why are you so loud? And then a few hours later, when those contractions hit me, I was like, oh, my bad, girl. I get it now. So yeah, the actual pushing wasn't painful. The labor is like what was the hardest thing for me. It was hard. The labor was hard. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that labor, it was hard. But I would do it again. Like, I would do it again 8 million times. Like, once the baby is here, like, I don't believe the part where they say you don't remember. I do remember the pain. I just don't care about it because the baby's so cute. Like, I would do it 1 million times, 1 billion times over. Okay, so what did you do when you found out you were pregnant? So when I found out that I was pregnant, I took a picture of the pregnancy test and I sent the screen or like the picture to my husband like immediately, like within 2.5 seconds of it saying positive. And the crazy part is he didn't see like the line because it was faint. It was faint. He didn't see the line like the first test, and like we kind of got in like a little tiff because I was like, what do you mean? Like, it clearly says I'm pregnant. And he was like, I don't see the line, I don't see it. So I waited 2 days, took another test, and sure enough, I was right. And I was pregnant, and we were super excited, super happy. Yeah, so now we have little baby Sage, who is like the best baby ever. So that's how I told my husband. How did I tell my family? So I didn't start telling family and friends until about between like 17 and 20 weeks, because I was just terrified that I would lose my baby. Like, I was horrified because I had that miscarriage right before. So I just straight up told like my family. I was just like, yeah, like, I'm pregnant. And they were all pretty excited. Yeah, they were all pretty excited. Yeah, they were pretty hyped. My friends. So my friends, I got to have like a little bit of fun with them. So with my friends, I text them like, hey, what are you doing June 6th? Because that was like the original date for my baby shower. And so I was like, hey, what are you doing June 6th? And they were like, you know, nothing. I don't really know why, what's up? And so I was like, I just want you to come to my baby shower on June 6th. And they were like, your baby shower? So usually after I sent that text, my friends called and were like, girl, what do you mean baby shower on June 6th? And I was like, sis, I'm pregnant. So yeah, that's how I told my family. That's how I told my friends. That's how I told my husband. I know not the craziest ways, but I was just so scared throughout my whole pregnancy. Like, I literally only started telling people because my husband was like, really, like, you have to tell people. And I was just like, but do I? Like, I tried to hide my belly like as long as possible, until like somebody at work called me out. Like, one of my really close people that I work with called me out and was like, yo, like, what's that? Like, pointing at my stomach because my belly button was like poking through my shirt. And I was just like, what are you talking about? I don't see anything. What do you see? I don't get it. So yeah, it took me a long time to tell people, but I'm glad I did tell people. I think I would definitely keep it a secret the next time. It was just a lot less stress that way. Like, people weren't constantly calling and trying to look at my belly. Like, it was pretty peaceful. Like, I got to not have to deal with people for a good part of my pregnancy, which was nice. It was really nice. So what was the first thing you bought for Sage? So the first thing that I bought for Sage was a 3-pack of bottles. So yeah, that was the first thing I bought for him. And the crazy part about it, yeah, that was the first thing. The crazy part about it is I actually had the package sent to my mom's house. So it was around Christmas time. So I had the package sent to my mom's house. And yeah, and my mom was like, you have some packages here, because I think it was some bottles and some other stuff. I don't remember, but it was a few packages, but I definitely remember the bottles. She's like, you have some packages here, and you know, they're all really light. I mean, because it was baby stuff, so it was all tiny. And so I was like, oh, okay, like I'll come and get it. And so the reason why I had it shipped to her house was because our apartment complex, like the office closes early around Christmas time, so I wanted to make sure that I actually, you know, got the bottles or whatever. So I had them shipped to my mom's house. And so I was like terrified, because my mom is nosy. So I was terrified that my mom or my grandma, because she's just as nosy, would open the packages, but they didn't. And so I got to keep my secret for just a little while longer. What was the last thing? So the last thing that I bought for Sage was actually today. I bought him some like little toys off of Amazon, because he's starting to get bored. I didn't know babies got bored, but he like has like moments of like boredness where he just like wants to play with something. And so the last thing I bought him was some toys. So hopefully they're here soon, because when he's bored, he just screams really loud for a long time. And like the cry is different from like a hungry cry or like any other cry. So I know like for sure he's bored. So did you do old wives' tales to find out if he was a boy or a girl before you got your gender results? So I did not do any old wives' tales to find out if he was a boy or a girl before he was born, because I knew he was a boy for several reasons. But one of the main reasons was because I hated taking showers. Like, I hated taking showers when I was pregnant with him. Like, just the thought of getting in water and cleaning myself made me nauseous, which is completely unusual for me. I like to keep my body really, really, really clean. Like, I will take a shower 3 times a day, like if I feel dirty. Like, I like to feel clean. I've always been like that since I was a little kid. Like, I don't like being dirty. And so once I stopped liking to take showers, of course I would still take showers, but once I like stopped liking and stopped enjoying them, I was like, I'm definitely probably having a boy, like no doubt. And I say that, so when we did genetic testing, so once I got those results and saw that he was a boy, I was like, ugh, I knew. Mom always knows, okay? And I think that's it. Okay, y'all. So that is all of the questions, and this is actually really, really fun. I liked doing this. So I'm gonna have to do it again on another topic. So yeah, thank you for everybody that asked me questions. I'm gonna go to bed now because it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I've been trying to film all day, but my son would not let me. So yeah, thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe.